Hi there.
Hey, Megan, how are you?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. You're perfect.
Perfect. Looks good.
Can you see my screen okay?
I can, yeah, looks good.
And I'll be advancing your slides once I turn it over to you. Just say next slide and I'll be right on it to advance for you.
Perfect. Greg, hopefully will be joining soon.
Right back, Megan.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Greg.
Hi. Am I on?
You're on. Yeah, I can hear you. Wow, LaPre just stepped away for a moment. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. Hey, how you doing, Greg?
Good. How are you this morning?
Great.
We're all set. We're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Can you actually adjust my picture so I look like I'm about 20 pounds smaller? Can you do that for me, LaPre?
If you would have logged in a little bit sooner, I could have fixed that for you, but
All right, I'll go with what I got then. Let's see.
we'll start right at 12. So I want to keep us on schedule.
That sounds good.
And once we're done, if you guys can stay on after, I'll push everyone out and just want to have just a quick recap of everything with you.
How do I
Perfect.
get I'm trying to get to my notes on my screen. Is there a way I can shrink my screen so that I can get to my
If you
Yeah,
press escape, it'll shrink it.
you can.
escape?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. I'm going to go on mute for now. Is that okay?
Sure. Okay, I have exactly 12 o'clock according to both my laptop and my phone, so I think that we are accurate on the time. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the National Black MBA Association and KeyBank, I'd like to welcome you to our pre-conference webinar sponsored by KeyBank. We're very excited to have you this afternoon and hope that you are all remaining safe. My name is Lepre George, and I'm the Senior Director of our Chapters, Members, and University Relations here at the National Headquarters of National Black MBA in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also a proud graduate of Clark Atlanta University. Here at National Black MBA, we recognize HBCUs as a true source of academic accomplishment and great pride for the Black community, as well as the entire nation. We are here to support you along with our partners at KeyBank by providing opportunities and exposure to resources such as this to assist you on your educational journey and as you prepare to enter the workforce. Before we dive into the content, I want to remind you all that we are hosting our annual conference in just a few weeks. This year, for the first time, we're going to host that event in a completely virtual format. We have been working extremely hard to bring as much as our traditional conference into the virtual world, and hope the information that we share today in these types of webinars will be able to assist you in that journey by making sure you are as prepared as possible. Our sponsors at KeyBank are providing a scholarship opportunity for HBCU students. Through the scholarship, you'll be able to cover costs associated with your tuition, just a small way to really help to alleviate some of that debt that you may have as a result of being a college student. You can apply for the scholarship directly on our scholarship page. If you go to the main website, the scholarship tab, you can click on that and complete the application all online. The deadline to apply is next week, the 9th of September. If you have not already done so, you can register for our annual conference as well on the website. Visit the site and you really can't miss it. There are banner ads everywhere. You can click on any of those and it'll take you into the registration page so that you're able to access the conference agenda, see who the speakers are, check out some of the companies that will be there as well. And during today's webinar, I'm going to share some tips with you on how to best prepare for the conference. After that, we will hear from our sponsors, our guest speakers from KeyBank, Megan Lalo and Mr. Gregory Jones, and I'll introduce them a little bit later in the presentation. So before we dive into the content, I want to share a quick survey to get a feel for where you guys are as it relates to the conference and getting ready to attend. So I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll now. 3 quick questions for those of you that are with us this afternoon. Take a moment to answer these 3 quick questions, and then we'll talk about the results in a moment. So wondering if you guys have registered for the conference, if you got your resume updated, and if you're familiar with the platform that we use to manage your resumes and put you in touch with our employers. So take a moment to complete that survey, please. Give you about 30 more seconds. I see the results are coming in pretty quickly. So give you about 30 more seconds to give everyone a chance to get through them all. Looks like almost everyone that's with us has completed it. Just a few more seconds. Almost there. Let's say 10 more seconds. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Almost. Okay, so I'll give it one more. Just want to make sure you give a lot of feedback on this. I want to make sure that I give you all a chance. I know it's 3 questions, so I don't want to rush you too much, but I want to keep things going. Okay, let's go ahead and call it. All right, let me end the poll and share the results. All right, so the first question, have you registered for the conference? So very glad to see that most of you that are with us this afternoon have registered. I see that the other majority will register soon, and I see only one person has not said that they will be participating. Definitely didn't want to see that, but I do understand. There are situations that are out of our control sometimes, but I do want to remind you that the annual conference that we host is unlike any other conference that you would ever be able to be a part of. Hundreds of employers are on hand to hire diverse talent just like you. We offer various ways for you to get in contact with them. So again, it's really kind of a one-stop shop and unlike any other opportunity. So I really encourage you to reconsider why you're not participating and just kind of let us know if we can assist you in any way as well. Is your resume updated and ready to share? Glad to see that most of you do have your resume updated and ready to go. That's obviously the most important key, if you will, to connect with our employers to find those internships and full-time positions. So glad that most of you are doing so. And for those that are not, the next question I can share a little bit about how we can assist you with that as well. So I see that, I guess it's about an even split, or a little bit more of the majority are familiar with the network. Most of you, or half of you, have got your resumes updated. The other half has not. And then there are some of you that want to know more about it. So the Career Success Network is, again, our gateway to connect with employers. We highly encourage you to go in today, right away, post your resume. You can search for jobs and internships there, as well as opportunities that are provided by KeyBank and other companies. But again, this is your initial introduction to the career fair. So if you do this now and you get in front of the employers now with your resume and outreach about positions, they will actually respond back to you before the conference even begins. And that's also how you set up interviews to really make the most of your conference time. Once you enter the Career Success Network and set up your profile, there's even an opportunity to get some resume feedback. So for those of you that are working on your resumes, once you upload the resume that you do have, you actually get a free assessment sponsored by National Black to be able to have your resume reviewed and get some pointers on how to fix it up and make it, put your best foot forward, if you will, for the employers. So again, a lot of resources are available for you to make sure that the conference experience you have this year is worth your time, that you are effective and efficient in how you connect with our employers, but really wanted to take this time just to really share and understand where things stand with you all and how we can assist you in that regard. All right, moving on. As I mentioned at the top of the webinar, our virtual conference this year is an immersive 3D experience that's designed to bring you an exceptional experience overall. If you never attended a virtual event, it's helpful to acquaint yourselves with some of the environment that you can navigate, and just to make it a little bit more easily. And that's what I'm going to do now over the next few slides before I pass it off to our sponsors. I also want to mention that if you have questions, there's going to be a Q&A portion at the end of the webinar. But if you have questions along the way, feel free to go ahead and put those into the chat or the Q&A box now, and we'll try to answer those either in real time, but definitely we'll get to them all by the end of the webinar. Okay, so I'm going to share 6 tips to make sure you have the best conference experience possible. Very simple things that you may already know, some you may not have considered, but again, if you follow these 6 tips, you'll definitely be in the best position to make the most of your time during the conference. First thing is do your homework. As I mentioned, companies like KeyBank are posting jobs and searching for resumes right now. So you can pre-book interviews to make sure you have early exposure to our sponsors and to our other corporate partners. And again, using the Career Success Network to post your resume is the best way to do so. It's a free resource. Even if you're not a member of the association, you can still access the Career Success Network and set up a profile and post your resume. So step 1, do your homework. Find out which companies are going to be attending the conference, see which companies have positions that suit what you're looking for. And you can even reach out to some of the employers and ask questions about what they're doing through their respective websites as well. Step 2, make a plan. So you want to use our conference app, which is available now, to access and understand which employers are going to be there, which is also done on the website, but I know it's a little bit more convenient to use the app sometimes. You can go to the App Store or Google Play to download the app. It's a free app, of course, and it gives you every component of the conference you could imagine, as I mentioned, from who's going to be there, the conference agenda, and you can even connect with other conference goers through the app as well. So a great way to connect, but also set your own agenda for the conference. You can go into the agenda and click on the different components you want to actually visit during the conference, and you can set your own agenda that you can follow so you don't miss anything during the conference that way. Definitely want to use the app to keep an eye out for special communications from exhibitors to take advantage of their opportunities before the conference begins. Tip number 3, check your technology. I'm sure at this point, everyone has a smartphone. Most of us have tablets and or laptops, but you want to make sure that you have the proper software downloaded before the conference begins. So once you register, you'll get an email from the team that'll provide you with a system check. So make sure you run all those checks beforehand, at least a couple of days before. So if you don't have the necessary software, you can download it, but you can also just check this to make sure that your system will be able to handle the platform and all the information that'll be there. So again, check your technology, make sure you have a strong Wi-Fi signal. If you're using a laptop or a tab or a desktop, if you possibly can, an Ethernet cable is probably the best to make sure you have high video quality and a more stable connection. So again, step 3 or tip number 3 is check your technology. So get your brand ready. Obviously, a high quality professional headshot is going to be important, because once you register for the conference, you'll set up your conference profile. That includes your headshot, your resume, and some demographic information about yourself. So this is your brand and how you're going to be presented at the conference. So you want to make sure that all those components are in place. The sooner you get in and register, the sooner you can go ahead and set that profile up and make sure that you look presentable and that your brand is strong. Even though this is a virtual conference, you still want to dress sharp. You still want to be attentive. You want to have good lighting around you as well. You want to treat this as if you were going to be there in person. So all the things you would do if you're going to be face-to-face, you want to do those same things in the virtual format. So make sure that you get your brand ready to go before conference begins. Number 5, start early. As I mentioned before, you can register for the conference now. You can download the app now. You can post resumes now. So you want to do that. This is the beginning of the month. We have well over 20 days, almost 3 weeks to get to the conference. So there's no excuse that you can't jump in now and get things going. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always contact myself or someone from my team, and we can assist you with any questions you have around the conference itself. But as you see on the screen, the conference and the career fair rather starts on Thursday, where the actual conference is kicked off on Wednesday. So take some time to familiarize yourself with the platform and be ready to go before the conference begins on Thursday. Last but not least, it's just kind of a recap. Make sure that you're ready for game time. Make sure that your environment is clear. Make sure that your connection is strong. Make sure that you have all of those distractions put away. Put your phone on vibrate. When you're using the platform, you don't want to have a bunch of different windows open on your computer. Make sure that you have a nice, clear, and comfortable environment to be able to take full advantage and put your best foot forward. Definitely want to have your chargers and things nearby. I'd even say have some water or some snacks around, because you want to stay engaged in the conference. I'm not saying you'll be there all day, but you definitely want to be able to have at least a couple of hours set aside to focusing on the conference and don't have any distractions to do that. And also build in break time. I think it's important to, maybe go in for an hour and take a step back for about 15 minutes and, refresh yourself and then come back into the conference. The same way you would if you were face-to-face. You wouldn't be on the career fair floor for hours. You would go in, do some things that you wanted to do, meet with some employers, take a break, have a snack, and go back and do the same. So this holds true in the virtual environment as well. And lastly, there's a code of conduct, similar with any other online platform, such as when you're using Zoom, when you're doing your coursework now, as we are in this environment where everything is virtual. You want to make sure that you are just abiding by a code of ethics. You don't want to use any derogatory terms or anything that's going to take away from the quality of the event. So we are providing a very safe and productive environment for our participants and sponsors. We are monitoring individual use of the platform. So if you see anything that is not along that code, we will certainly reach out to the individual and often, or if necessary, remove them from the platform. So the code of conduct in its entirety is provided as a part of your registration. Once you complete the registration, a part of your receipt will have the code of conduct listed. So make sure you review those key components. But I'm sure that you guys are smart enough to know what to do and what not to do in a virtual environment. So just to recap, the 6 tips I mentioned, you want to make sure you do your homework, make sure you research those companies and know who you want to see, who you want to target, what positions you want to apply for. Make a plan by making sure you know what you're going to do each day of the conference, having your own personal agenda, if you will. Check your technology. Make sure you got a strong Wi-Fi signal. Make sure you're using an Ethernet connection if you need to. Make sure there's no distractions around you. Get your brand ready, your high quality profile picture uploaded, your updated resume uploaded as well. Start early. You can start as early as today if you haven't already, to post that resume online, register for the conference, and get familiar with the platform. And last but not least, when it's game time, you want to be focused and know exactly what you're going in there to do. Keep your attitude sharp. Make sure you get some rest the day before. Make sure you have some snacks and water ready to go as well. And I think if you follow these tips, you will certainly put your best foot forward and make the most use of your time and come out of the conference with an offer or at least some strong connections that you can follow up with after the conference is over. So with all that, I'm going to turn things over to our sponsors and facilitators with KeyBank, Mr. Gregory Jones, who is the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at Key Corp, and Megan Lalo, who is Campus and Diversity Recruiting Manager. I'm going to stop talking and get out of the way, and I will turn it over to you, Megan.
Thank you so much, Lepre. I appreciate the introductions and for allowing us the great honor and opportunity of partnering with National Black for these HBCU webinars and helping to prepare these students for such an important conference. I'm actually going to toss first to Greg Jones, who's going to provide an overview of Key and share a little bit about our story and culture of DE&I. And then I will be coming in at the tail end to share a little more information on our 2021 campus career opportunities and open it up to Q&A. So let's start with Greg.
Great. Thank you, Megan. I really appreciate it. And good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are, to everyone out there. My name is Greg Jones, Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for KeyBank, and I too am an HBCU graduate, Tuskegee University. Yes, yes. It's really good to be here today with Megan and to have some time with you all. This is a really important time in your lives and your career, and we're really glad to be here as a part of your, potentially a part of your future. Key is a really great place. Megan and I are both very proud to work there. And what we're hoping is by the end of today's presentation, it's our goal, and hope you have a deeper understanding of what the slide that you're looking at means. Can we get the next slide, Lepre? And how we feel about bringing culture, history, viewpoint, experience, all of that to the table. We'll talk a little bit about how Key enables, supports, and empowers all of our employees to bring their authentic selves to work every day. And you're going to hear that a lot from us. You'll probably hear it a lot from other organizations, but this is especially important now as we go through all the things that we've been going through. Can you go to the next slide, please? Before we really dive in, a bit about Key. We are just a little bit more than 190 years old as an organization. We're one of the 11th largest commercial banks in the country, and we're continuing to grow. An important part of our growth is leveraging our award-winning culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have a very strong philanthropic culture, and also as a business, we have a very strong return to our shareholders. And so we both, the cultural thing and the business thing is really important to us in a very big way. We are also one of only top 25 US national banks to receive 9 consecutive outstanding ratings in our community investment work. That's a big part of what we do from a community perspective, and we've been doing it very well over the last many years, especially the last 9 years. We're headquartered in Cleveland, but Key is represented across our 26 markets, going from New York all the way to Alaska. So the center is Cleveland, but we're all over the country in 26 markets. And at Key, our teammates are our most valuable asset, and you'll hear that a lot from other organizations. And I work for a lot of organizations, but I can tell you it is truly the case here at Key where we value our employees deeply. We promote equity and inclusion through competitive and in many cases progressive pay and benefit practices. Can we go to the next slide, please? So here you see just a list of some of the ways that we've taken action to reflect this commitment around pay equity. There are publicly stated commitments to pay equity that we have. The methodology we do every year to make sure that pay is equal across the board. It's an analysis that our HR team goes through. Our benefits programs are structured so higher paid employees share in the greater portion of cost. As you elevate, you'll have to give a little bit more, but those people who are just starting from a cost perspective, it is not really painful at all. We offer 6 weeks of paid paternal leave to all new parents, including non-birth parents, to promote bonding with the new family. And that's really important for us. In 2019, Key held medical premium flat for the 5th consecutive year for all employees earning less than $75,000. Keeping that benefit in place and keeping it strong and keeping it affordable is really important to us. And in 2020, we ceased soliciting salary and use of pay history. Now, for some of you, that may not mean a whole lot, but I'll tell you, as you go into your career and you are applying for various jobs, you want to make sure that you're getting paid what the job is assigned, not what's based on your pay history has been. For our hourly workers, we've raised minimum wage for all non-commissioned hourly employees to $16 to $18 an hour. And something else I would want you to know about Key is that we take what I'll call a holistic approach when it comes to developing programs to support all of our employees physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. All of those things come into play as we think about our teammates. We offer benefits and programs such as fitness, reimbursement, caregiver assistance for those with people in your household that you have to provide care for, scholarship programs for dependents of employees, a hardship assistance if you're going through a difficult moment, and discounted student loan refinancing, which would be probably especially important to some of you here with us today. So the common theme among all of these is that we're committed to taking action to support our employees in a lot of different ways. Our teammates are investing their time and careers at Key, and we want to make sure that we're equally investing in them. Can we go to the next slide? So given all that's going on, I would be remiss not to spend a few minutes acknowledging the very pivotal moments we've faced over the past few months around racial equity and social injustice. Not only as individuals, but as a country, we've been through probably some of the most turbulent times that I've seen in my entire career. And I want to share a bit of perspective about what I've seen, not only as Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, but even as a newer team member at Key. I've only been with Key for 5 months. I've worked in a lot of different places, for those of you who may have looked at my background. And I will tell you the level of conversation and the level of concern that's taking place at the highest levels inside of Key in regards to the issues around race, the issues around social justice, the issues around systemic racism is something that I've never seen in my entire career. The senior leadership team at Key is incredibly serious about this. So one thing I want you to know is that Key's commitment is to action. And it starts at the very top in these regards around all of these issues. It starts with our chairman and CEO, Chris Gorman, who came out very strong when all of this was going on. But I can tell you that he was about this very strong before all of this began. In addition to his public statement in response to the leadership support we've seen for advancing racial equity both within and outside of the company, he has been absolutely tremendous. You can also see here some of our commitments to our communities, including investing through KeyBank Foundation, through a special matching program for our employees around social justice organizations. And we aren't slowing down. We're continuing to take action both within and outside of the company as we go through this transformative period in the United States. This is, as I said before, this is something that I haven't seen before in my career. Can we go to the next slide, please? So, as I think about all of these things, you can see here the many awards that Key has won related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, including being in the top 50 companies for diversity and inclusion from Diversity Inc. for more than 10 years. Um, but it's more than just the awards that we've won. It is the action that actually takes place inside of the organization to make sure that regardless of your background, regardless of your race, that you are getting a great career, a place to launch a great career, and you're getting supported throughout your career to make sure that you're making the most of your time with us as an employee. So while we're proud of our longstanding legacy, we also acknowledge the work that is ahead. It's been revealed over the last several months, the challenges in America and in corporate America and in various companies. So we aren't resting, and I'm personally committed to working alongside all the leaders inside of Key and to the employees inside of Key to continually raise the bar for ourselves and the industry in general in regards to making sure that regardless of your race, whether you're African American, Latinx, or whatever, you're going to get all that you should have from the investment that you're making in your college years and as you come to work for a company like Key. So I truly, truly hope that you consider joining us on our journey as we position ourselves for that next level, that next phase of Key's history. We really need people like you to be with us on this journey. So I'm hoping that you think enough of us to at least have a conversation and ultimately, hopefully come and work with us. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Megan to talk a little bit more about our programs. Megan?
Thank you so much, Greg, for the overview. It was a perfect foundation for some of the things I plan to double down on in my remarks. And I think we can all agree we certainly have a lot to be proud of as employees at Key. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to provide just a quick overview of our 2021 campus career opportunities. We've got over 20 businesses in our organization who hire summer interns and full-time analysts on an annual basis. And for 2021, we're projected to hire about 300 or so interns and 150 full-time analysts. And I'll actually be sharing a little more detail on what those programs are and what we look for in our candidates on the next slide. But where I'd like to start is to share that we have really strong campus programs at Key. In fact, they're industry leading in several categories, and they deliver you this really balanced approach that includes a balance of value add work experience that's enriched with these programmatic opportunities that include exposure to some of our executive and senior leaders like Greg, ongoing training and career readiness sessions. We have a mentoring program and coaching sessions that you participate in, as well as, of course, some networking and social events as well. What I'd share too is we're really proud that Key continued forward with its summer intern program this summer, despite all of the uncertainty that COVID had created for all of us. And our interns worked 100% virtually throughout their 7-week internship. You can actually see a handful of our interns working from their remote locations in the bottom right of the screen there. And to date, we've made offers to about 77% of that intern class to return in 2021, either as a full-time analyst or to return for a second internship opportunity. That statistic is well above industry standard. So we're really proud of our ability to convert our interns into full-time hires here at Key. Also happy to share some news that's kind of hot off the press. Just a couple of weeks ago, we found out that our internship program is being recognized by Way Up as one of the top 100 intern programs across the country. This is a great honor for Key, and I think certainly helps validate the strength of the program. And I think you'll find that at Key, our teammates feel really valued. And I think that's important. And you can actually see that reflected too in the testimonial we have on the bottom left of the screen, which is one of our former interns. You know, our campus hires and all of our employees at Key feel comfortable. They feel welcomed. They feel appreciated. And all of these things and more are why our programs are so highly sought after year over year by students across our entire footprint. The other thing I'd like to double click on a little and add on to Greg's commentary is our culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion at Key. This notion of bring your authentic self to work every day is not something we just simply say to say it, and I know a lot of organizations say it too. But at Key, you will really feel that as a team member. It's important to us always that we are not only attracting diverse talent, but we're retaining them, we're developing them, and that our talent reflects the diversity of the clients and the communities that we're serving. So we also know at Key that diversity comes in many forms, and we value all forms of that diversity at Key. You can see on the top half of the screen there, our campus programs are over 50% diverse. And each year we are working to refine our strategy to bring more diverse talent to Key. And in fact, this year we are hosting our first annual Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Student Summit. This will be a half-day virtual event, which we intended on being in person, but it will be virtual. It's at the end of October, and we'll be inviting 25 students to join us for a really special session where they'll hear from some of Key's executives, including Greg will be joining us, hear about our employee resource groups, and also our students that attend the session will receive a really high-touch recruiting experience as well. Of course, our intention is to convert a majority of those students into intern or analyst positions in 2021. So I invite all of you to take a look at the application that's posted on our career site to learn more. We're accepting applications now through September 18th, so you definitely still have some time to apply and hopefully join us at that event. One more point I'll make on this slide before I move to the next one, and it's a point that I think will really resonate with all of you, is that at Key, I think you'll find our employee retention is really quite strong. It's actually not unheard of and pretty common to find that teammates have spent their entire careers in our organization. And there's many schools of thought as to the reasoning behind our ability to retain our teammates for so long, but I like to think, and I do believe, that it has a lot to do with our opportunities for growth and development. I've personally experienced a tremendous amount of growth in my actually, I think my 11-year anniversary with Key is in 2 weeks. But in those 11 years, you know, I've held roles from our internal audit group as an auditor, all the way to running the intern program and now managing a team of recruiters, which is where I'm at now. So I share that to say there's no shortage of ways to enrich your career at Key through training and involvement in our employee resource groups, participating in our mentoring program that I mentioned before, and the list, you know, really goes on. LaPrey, would you mind flipping to the next slide? Thank you. So on this slide, you're going to see a lot more detail on the campus programs that we offer. I mentioned before there are many, and the Path to Our Careers page is listed at the very top of the screen there. I would encourage you all to spend some time browsing the pages we have out there. The programs themselves are really well defined and include some additional testimonials from interns or analysts who have lived and breathed these roles and do a really great job at explaining what their experiences felt like at Key. But I also really want to draw your eye to the statement at the bottom in the red box. It says, Key is more than banking. We're collaborators, we're critical thinkers, we're innovators. This is an important message because for many college students, when you hear KeyBank, it would be natural for you to assume that we seek only maybe finance and accounting majors, or whatever you would assume looks like a traditional banker profile. But at Key, that's actually pretty far from true. And in fact, if you're able to read the fine print there and scan through the list of majors that we look for, you can very quickly see the variety. And what I'll share too is, you know, Key is keeping pace, if not ahead, of our industry that's becoming more and more digital as the days and the weeks and the months pass. And as a result of that, we are always in need of engineers or computer scientists. and we're becoming more strategic, and we're building out our analytics groups and capabilities. So we're looking for data scientists or statistics majors or mathematicians. So really my point here is generally, no matter your major, we likely have an opportunity for you. So I just wanted to make that point and double click on that for you. And the other thing I'll share too is if you're familiar with Key or have Googled us already, and Greg talked about this too when he shared what our footprint looks like, you know that we're headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio. And while many of our campus programs are located at our headquarters in Cleveland, we do have opportunities across our footprint. A few examples of programs that offer opportunities outside of Cleveland would include our retail banking program, our investment banking, which is called KeyBank Capital Markets at Key. Also, our real estate capital business has opportunities across our footprint. And so all of those positions, and there's more than that too, which you can find the details on in the job descriptions. But if geography is important to you, please know that Cleveland is not the only place we offer opportunities for. But if you've never been to Cleveland before, don't sell us short too fast. We have a lot of greatness to offer. And I think Greg can attest to that because he's coming to us from Chicago. So we're bringing him to our roots here. So what I will also say is most of our 2021, and in fact, I think all of our 2021 jobs are now posted on our career site or through Handshake if you have a Handshake account. We welcome your application starting now. I mentioned on the prior slide, we're also taking applications still for that DE&I Student Summit. You'll find the application for that on our career site that's linked at the top of the page here. So looking forward to seeing some of you apply for our positions. LaPrae, next slide for me, please. Thank you. So we wanted to leave you with a couple of additional takeaways and a couple of calls to action. So given the virtual environment that we've all found ourselves in this year, our campus recruiting season looks a little bit different. And so Key is offering a really special series of events that I wanted to draw your attention to. And this goes along nicely with some of the remarks that Greg started with, and just the essence of Key investing in its employees' wellness, both mental and physical wellness. And so last week, we actually launched a 3-part series about wellness. And tomorrow we are hosting our second session. Welcome all of you and encourage all of you to participate. The invitations, or we're hosting these through Handshakes. You can either find them on there or we have them linked out on our career site too. But generally, we recognize how stressful the COVID era is for everyone, particularly for students. So in these sessions, we're revealing best practices on living a healthy life and a stress-free life. And again, as Greg said, Key is an employer who is invested in our wellness. So we'll share too how Key is supporting all of our employees on their wellness journeys and their journey to living a healthy and happy life. The following week, so next week, we'll conclude that Thrive series, we're calling it, with a session on financial wellness. During that session, you will learn how to budget and save. We'll go through in detail how to understand your credit score. And then later in September, I think it's September 17th, does it say there? Yep, we'll be doing a session on student loan financing. So this is where you'll understand your loans, what your financing options are, plus how and where Key can help support you. I think Greg mentioned too, as employees at Key, we have some really great student loan financing options that we offer our employees, and I think that may be something that really interests you. So there's a lot more to come from Key as we head into campus recruiting season. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we welcome your application starting now for either our 2021 positions or to join us for that DE&I Student Summit. Head to our career site today to learn more. We hope to see continued engagement from all of you. Best of luck in the conference that I know is coming up here in a blink. And thanks so much for listening in. I guess we will open it up to questions.
Yeah, thank you both Megan and Greg. Great information, especially in regards to the campus programs. I'm certain there'll be a lot more interest around that after this, since it's now been shared. There's been quite a few questions in the chat, which I've actually answered most of them, but there's one that just came up that I wanted to speak aloud and let you guys respond to. So Nora Asante is asking about, she's an MBA graduate actually, HR management from 2017. And wondering if she can benefit from this program, or I would assume any other programs that KeyBank has to offer.
Oh, sure. Yes. So is she graduated in 2017, did you say? Yes.
Yeah.
So the most of my remarks really centered around our campus programs. So interns, we typically take rising juniors, sometimes sophomore standing as well, and full-time analysts as recent college grads. So in her case, she would be more of a direct hire candidate, and we have plenty of opportunities. Even throughout the COVID era, we've still been hiring. So I'd encourage her still to go to our career site. It would be the same link that I had on the other slide, and to take a look out there. But she's happy. I'd be happy to connect with her personally if she'd like some more guidance.
Awesome. And to that point, I'll actually post the webinar in its entirety will be provided on our archive on our website. So if you want to go back and see any of the details during today's webinar, you can go back and do so by taking a look at the archive document for the actual webinar itself. So let's see, we got a couple other questions coming in, I think. Actually, no, so some of the questions that I'd already answered, just to speak them aloud, make sure everyone gets the information. There was a question about, do you have to be a member of National Black to access the Career Success Network? The answer is no. You can set up a profile. Anyone can do so, post your resume. So that is open to all. There's a question about the deadline to register for conference. There isn't a set deadline, but there is a pricing deadline. So after the 23rd of September, the price will increase. So you would definitely, another reason for you to want to get registered sooner rather than later. There's another question. There was a question about being involved with one of our local chapters. I shared information there about that. Question about the KeyBank scholarship. Do you have to be a member to apply? Actually, you do have to be a member to apply to all of our scholarship opportunities. So if you are a member, you can access our scholarship page and complete the application online there. There was a question about setting up one-on-one time with recruiters before the conference begins. So my response to that would be, it's up to the employer, obviously, to do so, posting your resume into the network and applying for certain positions. And if they find that you would be a good fit or want to talk to you more, I'm sure they'll reach out to you before the conference begins. Megan, would you say that holds true for you all as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay, great. I shared a link to the Career Success Network that someone requested. And that was pretty much it. So are there any other questions? We got a couple more that came in. I think, are the time on the slides Eastern? Yes, so this is all Eastern Standard Time. And another question around, does KeyBank have programs for recent MBA graduates? I think you answered that already, Megan, that that would be more of a direct hire, and would they then visit your website?
They would visit our website. Yes, we do occasionally. Some of our programs hire MBAs, but it's on a limited basis. So I would be happy to connect with them separately on that. Okay. I was also looking in the chat and I saw a question about sponsorship opportunities. I wanted to touch on that briefly if I could, LaPre. So unfortunately for our campus programs, if you require sponsorship now or in the future, we are not able to entertain those sponsorships for our campus programs. For direct hire, some of our businesses do provide sponsorship.
It's actually a good point. That question comes up quite a bit during our conference around sponsorship, and that is truly up to the employer. So if you are requiring sponsorship, I encourage you to look at the employer's website or connect with the employer directly to inquire and confirm where their stance is on sponsorship. Mm-hmm. So Nora Asante wants to connect with you, Megan. So I will provide you with her email address. She shared her email address in the chat, so I'll provide that to you and let you guys connect.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions? Feel free to type them in the Q&A box and I will definitely get them out. In the meantime, I want to, I'm too fast. I want to share that we are offering a discount to all HBCU students. You can use the promo code on the screen there when you register for the conference and receive a $30 discount on the standard or premium pass. If you're getting a premium pass, a standard pass, it'll bring the cost down to just $100 to attend the conference, and you'll get a plethora of resources at your disposal, not to mention an ability to access all of our employers that are going to be on hand, including KeyBank. There's a question about, is relocation required, Megan? And if so, how is that supported?
So we do not offer location or housing reimbursement for our interns. Our analysts, most of our analyst positions do offer a sign-on bonus, which can be used for relocation. But for our intern positions, we do not offer any housing support.
Gotcha. Okay, don't see any additional questions coming in. So I do again want to encourage you to apply to register for the conference. Also apply to be a member. If you're not a member already, definitely want to do so. Again, that's the only way that you'll have access to the scholarships that we have available from our corporate sponsors. And again, if there are no other questions, we will post this entire webinar onto our webinar archives on the website, so you have access to that. I'm going to connect you, Megan, with the individuals that have requested to speak with you. And I think another question just came in. Oh, that's just a reminder, never mind. Yep, so with that, I will allow both you and Greg to provide some closing remarks. If there are no additional questions coming in or no additional comments you guys want to share, I'll let you close us out.
I would just say thank you to National Black for the opportunity to partner with you with such an important audience. And we are looking forward to a continued partnership with everyone. And thank you for your engagement and look forward to connecting with everybody thereafter. Greg?
Thank you, Megan. Thank all of you for attending this session. Thank you, National Black MBA. I've had an affiliation for more than 30 years, so I was where these students are now as I was looking to leave Tuskegee and find internships. This is a very important time in your career, in your life. Take advantage of all of these opportunities that National Black MBA is providing you. Lepre, your guidance early on, I wish I'd have had that 30 years ago when you launched. But all of these things are wonderful. Take a look at Key. We hope that we can continue this conversation with each of you. And with that, I'm going to say have a great afternoon, everyone.
Again, thank you, Megan. Thank you, Gregory. And again, on behalf of the National Black MBA Association, I want to thank you all for joining us. If you want to reach me, you can also do that as well. I'm on LinkedIn, pretty easy to find with the association. So send me a note via LinkedIn is probably the best way to get me. But again, thank you all for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in about 21 days now at our 50th anniversary annual conference. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
And give me 1 second, guys. I want to connect with you all real quick. Let me.
I think we lost Greg.
Oh, shucks. Okay, no worries. Let me close it out here, and I'll just speak with you for a moment.
Sure.
I'm trying to find. Bear with me. Sorry.
That's okay.
Don't see. I'm trying to close it out for the attendees. I don't see a way to do that. I thought there was like a dismiss all options. I'm gonna have to go in and close them out individually. Just a few people that are still
Yeah, lingering.
It went really well, though. Thank you very much for all that content. That was really good.
Yeah, I think it went great. It looks like there's a handful that want to connect with me. So if you wouldn't mind providing those email addresses, or I don't know, do we get a full list of who attended with email addresses? Because I know we'd love to connect with them.
Get these last few out, and then I'll share kind of what's going to happen next. Got
Okay.
2 more, 1 more, and done. Let me stop the recording.
Sorry about that.